As soon as you thought, man, this situation can't get any worse, right? This like, oh man, she makes it worse. So now apparently Matthew Stafford's wife, who I should show. Let me show because that is because the it's not the brunette. It's not the brunette. I got to show the blonde bitch in her full glory, right? It's her. So she now apparently issued an apology to former QB, former University of Georgia QB, Joe Cox. I think that's his name, right? And she made it clear that that's not the quarterback that she was talking about. But because of Matthew Stafford's wife's interview that sends shockwaves around, the world, basically, this man's name got brought up because he was one of the backup QBs at Georgia at the time when Stafford was playing. But she wasn't even talking about him, but he has a family. And I'm pretty sure once this Matthew Stafford's wife said that nonsense, he probably caused mess back at his own house because of her big ass mouth. When we talk about, remember, collateral damage. So before I read out the letter, let me just show you the video that went viral one more time.
Wait, so was he trying to casually date and you were all
yeah, girl. Anyways, long story short, it wasn't that cute of a relationship at first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated the backup to piss him off, which worked.
Yes.
He was like,
that'll do it.
He was the bad boy too. Like Matthew's so sweet and Southern gentleman and all that stuff. And the backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it upset him. So they lived in the same dorm because athletes lived in the same dorm, and he would see my car there. And so at one point he like waited and followed me out and got in my car and wouldn't get out. And he was like,
this is so hot.
I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I was get out of my car and he was like, he's not right for you. And I was like, what? You can't tell me that.
Wait, so was he trying to casually date?
So right here, after making Matthew Stafford look like a plump simp, here she writes the apology. Oh, my bad, guys. Here she writes the apology to Joe. What's his name? Let me make sure I get his name right. Let me just make sure I get his names right. Joe Cox, right? Pause. I don't want to. Let me just call him Joey C. Let me call him Joe C. Right? To Joe, right, Mr. Well, whatever. We'll be mature here, Mr. Joe to Joe Cox. So she wrote this. She said, "To this beautiful fam, I am sorry for the media storm that happened last week that made its way into your lives. You had zero involvement in what I spoke about. And in fact, it was y'all's relationship in college that I looked up to and wanted for me and Matthew. You were the couple that everyone thinks Matthew and I was. Y'all were the UGA QB and cheerleader that met and never let go." So apparently, I guess she was a cheerleader at the time, and he was the backup QB. So she's trying to make sure to let people know that the backup QB that she was talking about was not him. And in fact, he already kind of had his own thing going on with his girl at the time, right? And that's what she's trying to make sure. But this is the problem with collateral damage. When you're letting out church business like this, now his wife, Joe Cox's wife, is probably literally was at the time when this came out like, wait a minute, you was fucking her too? You were a bad what? She probably caused mess in that home. She don't even and she probably I bet you never know the mess that you can cause. Now you probably had Joe Cox's wife signing divorce papers as we speak out of emotion and saying stuff to him that she really doesn't mean, but she's saying it out of emotion. And now turns out you wasn't even talking about him. It was somebody else. Like I said, women don't understand collateral damage. This is why, and I saw a tweet, if I can bring it up, right underneath this. And right here, he says, Matthew Stafford should divorce that 304. Y'all got to stop interviewing famous MFers' wives. Wives love embarrassing their husbands. And that is a thing in America. I don't know what it is. Why a lot of wives, I will say most American wives, they just like take pleasure out of punishing their husbands for marrying them. And I think, and I take it a step further. I don't even talk about embarrassment. I say as punishment, because it's almost like they punish their husbands for choosing them. because really they shouldn't be even chose like that. The one, especially the broads that I see dudes be choosing nowadays, knowing that women are not wife material, particularly in America, and they still get chose. They just flaunt on how desperate men really are, especially in America. They flaunt. So anytime they get a chance to embarrass their husbands, their significant others, their long-term relationship, they will do it. Many will do it, you know. So I was happy somebody hit that tweet. But let's see some of the reactions to that, because it's crazy. She don't even understand the collateral damage behind what she did. And I'm like, okay, you giving them an apology. Have you apologized to your husband yet? I'm just like, what are you talking about? An apology? Have you apologized to the person that matters, the person that's made your life relevant, your husband? And another thing, I'm tired of broads talking about we got to take people's podcast equipment away. But then when women say nonsense, they don't say that. They only say it when a man has a theory or he'll say something that probably isn't right. And then all of a sudden, they need to take away men's podcast equipment away. And you're just like, stop. Just stop. No, broads need to get their podcast equipment taken away. And you guys got to stop interviewing people's wives, especially stop interviewing people's ex-wives, because they never have anything positive to say about their man. Oh man. So somebody said she does not even seem concerned or worried about how her actions have made her husband feel. Some people just do not know when to keep their mouths shut. Bottom line. And then Colin Rugg here says she thinks she's the main character and doesn't realize her husband is the only reason she is relevant. And like I said, women like that, I'm talking about, they could be with the best athlete in the world. They still think it's about them. Like women, they really think they're the main character. They've always been treated like a princess by their dad, their mom. They've never been told no, especially when you're talking about Caucasian women, particularly Caucasian blonde women. Please, you think nobody told this bitch what? Let me show her. And I'm not saying she was pretty or all that, or not pretty. I'm just telling you, nobody's telling her no. You think anybody was telling her no back then? And she's one of like many, right? But like I said, we're talking about Caucasian blonde women. Please, nobody ever probably told her no ever in her life. You know what I mean? So she really thinks that I'm the prize. She really thinks she's the prize. You know what I mean? So there's nothing you can do about that, though. There's nothing you can do about that. And they'll be like, settling for a girl like that will be like, okay, I'll just settle with a finance guy that makes $300,000 a year and I don't have to work. To them, that's selling. To a woman like that, that's how highly they really think of themselves. They really. Somebody said Kelly Stafford just needs to stop talking about it already. I didn't even know the guy's name until this post. Like it's crazy. So yeah, now people know which quarterback it is now for real. So now people are going to look at, let me see, what year did Matthew Stafford, because I know it was around 08, 07, 09, around that period when Matthew Stafford, let me search up something. Let's do some research real quick. Let's do some research. Even I remember I saw a video of, I think, Channing Crowder or whatever, and he'd be down for anything, but even he was like, nah, this is out of pocket. So from 2006 to 2008, I got to look at the University of Georgia QB depth chart 2008. Here we go. 2007. Maybe not 2008. Maybe okay. Maybe not too. Sorry, maybe not. Oh yeah, maybe 2008 should work. Let's see who they had on the depth chart. Where does QB come in? Matthew Stafford, Joe Cox, and Logan Gray. So it was Logan Gray. So now we know who the quarterback was. So now we know for sure who the quarterback was. It was Logan Gray. Oh man. Logan Gray, QB, UGA. Oh man. So it was this guy here. So now we know who it is. She was going out with this ninja, sleeping with this ninja. Oh man. So now I'll say this: Logan Gray does look like a Chad. Oh, so now he's a financial advisor and a vice president at Merrill Lynch Wealth Management. Yeah, that seems about right. That seems about right about his future. That's funny. He's like, now one of the comments had me laughing. She said, now I know exactly who it is. Now I know exactly who it is. Because now she's saying it wasn't Joe. Somebody said, what a garbage person. So yeah, and then I do got to do a reaction video to Stephen A. Smith reacting to this nonsense. So yeah, this is ridiculous. Kelly Stafford, and I know people are gonna be mad at me, but I'm sorry. A lot of y'all just need to stay in the kitchen. A lot of y'all just need to just stay. A lot of y'all wives just need to just stick to taking care of the house and staying in the kitchen, because this whole stuff that y'all have been doing, it's not working. It's not working. I'm sorry.